What's up, guys? We are back with another McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse review. We're taking a look at one of the two figures that I have most wanted out of this initial push from them. We're taking a look at the Unchained Armor Superman figure. So, something that I truly have no idea about. I mean, I've done a little bit of research just to know what is actually going on, but as far as what I know, this is just a cool looking figure, so that's why we're here. We've got him here, of course, in the standard packaging that we've seen so far for this line, so a bit of a larger format box, and he's there in the window. You've got some comic paneling in the back. You've got the DC Multiverse logo on the bottom, and then the character name on the sides, and then you've got artwork from the comic books on the back, as well as a cross-sell for other figures that are in this line so far. So let's do it. Let's pull this big guy out and take a look. And here he is out of the packaging, our Superman Unchained Armor. And I'm going to go ahead and just preface this review by saying that I won't even accept arguments on this point. This is the best figure in this line for now. The Hellbat armor for Batman is really cool, but this is so much cooler just in a number of ways, from design to paint to the overall just cool factor here. I mean, this thing is really awesome. It does have some weird stuff going on in general, but it is still a really cool figure, and it blows away all the other regular figures in this line. Just no question about it. It's just a cool figure. So let's see how this guy moves around to start with. He moves around probably a little better than, say, the Hellbat Batman. It's still not the most agile thing, but it does move pretty well. So the head can actually look up on this guy. It's not stuck like the Batman. He can look down, and then you've got rotation. The arms go out at the shoulders. They rotate. You do have to worry about the wings a little bit. He has butterfly joints, and this is one area where I've got a little bit of a problem because both of mine were incredibly stuck. And this one, it almost looks like it was fused onto the chest because there's like battle scarring on here. The paint has actually been rubbed away on there, so I kind of have to tuck the actual cap in there. You've got, so we've got what? Out and around, and then butterfly. There is a bicep swivel on this guy, and it's like right at the shoulder, so you've kind of got to hold it in place a little bit. You've got your single jointed elbow. He's got ball hinges for the wrist, so all over, and then rotation, of course. You've got articulated wings, so they act as sort of like a cape in a way, so they go out, and then you can swivel them around and stick them out and put them back in, tuck them down just like that, so they kind of flow with these caps on his shoulders. He's got a diaphragm cut, so he goes around. He doesn't really go too far forward just because of the design, but he goes back a little bit, and then you can rotate and tilt side to side. He's got a ball peg down at the waist as well, so he goes backwards and forwards, side to side. He does rotate, but it's kind of tight there at the waist. Legs go all the way out, just like every other figure, so you've got the Superman splits there. He kicks all the way forward. He kicks back a little bit. You've got a thigh rotation. It's not really a cut. It rotates at the joint. And then you've got double jointed knees. They only go back about that far, though. And then you've got rotation, and you've got rocker down here at the ankles, but he's got this cap that sits over the foot, so it doesn't really allow you to do much. And then you've got some ankle hinge, and then you've got that big old toe articulation down there. So he moves pretty well. There are a few little things that kind of get in the way. My only real gripe is whatever happened to this cap on the butterfly joint is definitely an annoyance, but he moves around pretty well for a relatively large figure. But let's be real, the main reason to buy this figure is the looks. No one's buying this guy, so he's going to be a big dynamic thing on your shelf. He's imposing. He has a really cool Super Sentai mech kind of design. Very non-Superman look. I mean, it's obviously Superman for a number of reasons, but it very much looks like it could be anything else if it didn't have that big S plastered on his chest. And in a general sense, I just think it looks cool. From the artwork to the figure, I think it looks really good. And it's got a lot of size, it's got a lot of shelf presence. And the paint on this guy is really nicely done. There is a tremendous amount of kind of candy coating look to the S, even to the blue. The blue is not as kind of metallic-y, chromed out. It's just very, very, very shiny. It's got a huge gloss factor on it. But then the reds are a slightly duller shade of red. They're still kind of glossy, but they're not as glossy as the blue or the S. And then the blacks are all kind of matted out. So it's a lot of different textures, and it's a lot of different finishes, and it works. It just looks cool. I mean, it's a very robotic-looking suit.
It's humongous, it's imposing. He's got these really cool wings, which I think are just really nicely done just from a looks perspective, where they kind of flow from the caps on his shoulders to look like the cape draping over the back of the figure, but instead it's these huge, you know, kind of mech wings that you can position and move around a little bit. I think he looks the best when they're just sort of draped behind him like a part of the cape. He looks really big and imposing, and it's a fun design. It's very stark difference from the Hellbat. That thing's a lot more menacing and evil looking. This just looks like a big robot mech, awesome suit of armor, and I can't get enough of this figure. I think that without a doubt, I've already said it, this is easily, especially from the aesthetics, the coolest thing that McFarlane has put out in this line, just by a long shot. And that may or may not be because I think the head is the coolest aspect of this figure, because I do think the head is the coolest thing here. I love the huge V shape of the head. It gives me a very Gundam thing here. It also has like a kind of shredder look with that fin that runs down the front. There's just a lot of influences here that may or may not be accurate, but I'm kind of picking up on. I like the yellow eyes. They stand out against the rest of the colors. Just the huge fins that run back with the silver, the blue, the red, varying shades of metallic and chrome, and then the slight matte color that's on the face. It's just a cool design that comes through really, really well in plastic. Now, as far as accessories goes, this is where I can kind of gripe just a little bit, because just like the Hellbat, this guy doesn't have anything, and this guy's a little bit more of a problem because he kind of should have something. He does have the stand, and he does have the card, and the card is the giveaway for what he should have, because he's supposed to have a shield and an axe, which, come on, that would just be awesome. I think that would be great. He should have a shield and an axe, and I would love to have that. But the big problem as far as lack of accessories is what they gave him out of the box. He has 2 gripping hands. He doesn't have anything to grip because they didn't give him his actual accessories, and this is yet again a Superman figure that doesn't have 2 fists. The comic figure doesn't have 2, he only has 1, and this guy only has 2 gripping hands. So that's definitely a negative. It's not the end of the world, don't get me wrong. It's not ruining this figure, but come on, Superman, any kind of Superman, needs fists. So overall, if there's one figure to get out of this initial assortment of figures from McFarlane, it's this guy. The Hellbat is a close second, but this Unchained Superman is just something else. I think the design on its own is really fantastic. They managed to translate it into figure form really well. He moves surprisingly well. Paint is through the roof. The sculpt is crazy. The only real negative on this figure, outside of the fact that I do have that weird issue with the butterfly cap, is that he doesn't have any accessories when he, 1, could have, and 2, should have had at least different hands, if not a second set of fists. So yeah, this is an awesome figure. He's really fun to play around with, and he just looks cool. That's what it comes down to. He looks cool, and he's really imposing on a shelf. So that's going to do it for this look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Superman Unchained. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.